You're thinking about hiring a fractional CMO and wondering what they will actually do. I get it, you're not here for the pitch or the theory. You want to know what they will actually fix in the first 90 days. In this video, I'm going to show you the 5 things a fractional CMO will tackle, what it looks like in real life, and the results you can actually expect. First, let's talk about what a fractional CMO cannot fix in 90 days. You will not get a complete rebrand, a rebuilt website, a new tech stack, a fully optimized funnel, or 10 times the revenue growth in 90 days. This is because real transformation takes 6 to 12 months at the very least. However, you can expect 1 or 2 high leverage fixes, clear diagnosis of what's broken, systems set up so you can scale, and a roadmap for the next 6 to 12 months. A fractional CMO's job in 90 days is not to fix everything. I believe that a fractional CMO should first fix the constraint. The one thing that if it fixed, takes care of everything else. And that's what I will show you today in this video. When I start a new fractional CMO engagement, the most common thing I fix in the first 90 days is the wrong ICP or target audience. Businesses are targeting everyone, or they are targeting the wrong segment. In the first 2 weeks, my goal is to diagnose the ICP mismatch. I segment your customers by retention, expansion, sales cycle, and profitability. I will show you which customers have a higher LTV to CAC ratio and which ones have lower. In the next 2 weeks, I shift 40 to 60% of the marketing budget from the low fit segment to the high fit segment. The next thing I work on is clarifying your messaging. This could include revamping the copy on your homepage, landing pages, email sequences for the high-fit ideal customer profile or target audience. The goal here is targeted messaging for your best customers. Once all this is done, it is time to measure the impact of all these efforts. I track the pipeline quality, sales cycle length, and the win rate. Usually, businesses see 30 to 40% improvement in pipeline quality within 60 to 90 days. Recently, I was working with an $18 million SaaS company that was targeting everyone. When I looked into their data, I found that their best customers were mid-market HR teams with 200 to 500 employees. So we shifted around 45 to 50% of the budget from scattered targeting to human resource specific audience. And we rewrote the homepage and 2 landing pages for HR use cases. By the end of 90 days, the pipeline quality went up to 42% and sales cycle reduced from 90 days to 62 days. And the win rate improved from 22% to 33%. We did not add any budget during this fractional CMO engagement. We achieved this through better targeting. I often come across marketing dashboards with dozens of marketing metrics, and mostly these are vanity metrics. And due to this, the CEO cannot tell which customers are profitable or which channels work. If a dashboard tracks impressions, website traffic, email open rates, and marketing qualified leads, but it cannot answer what's your CAC by channel, which customer segment is most profitable, what's your payback period, and which stage of the funnel is broken, then in my opinion, that dashboard is not useful. In this case, I spend the first 2 weeks auditing your current metrics. I list everything you track and categorize it by vanity and decision metrics. In most cases, I usually find the dashboard has maybe 80% vanity metrics and only 20% decision metrics. Then I start rebuilding your dashboard. I remove the vanity metrics and add key decision metrics such as pipeline created by marketing, the customer acquisition cost by channel and segment, and the conversion rate by stage, your payback period by segment, your LTV to CAC ratio by segment, your net revenue retention or NRR, and expansion revenue percentage. Once we have the dashboard ready, it is time to add segmentation. We track everything by customer segment, not just by blended. I believe weekly reviews are extremely useful. I generally conduct 15-minute weekly reviews that cover what's working, what's not working, and what are we changing. Another issue I see often is siloed teams. While marketing generates leads, sales closes deals, and the customer success prevents churn, no one actually owns the full customer lifecycle or expansion. If this is the case, I start mapping every stage: awareness, lead, opportunity, customer, renewal, and expansion. I want a clear answer for each stage. Who owns it? What's the conversion rate? And where are the handoffs? Once that is done, I present the case for a chief revenue officer who would own the full life cycle, and marketing, sales, and customer success would report to the CRO, aligned on one metric: net revenue retention. Even if the CRO is not hired yet, I ensure the business assigns expansion ownership immediately. This could be to this customer success team or a dedicated growth role. I build a quarterly expansion process that includes check-ins, usage reviews, and upsell triggers. And I ensure we have a weekly revenue meeting with all the functions present to track the full lifecycle metrics. Recently, I was working with a $22 million SaaS business, and they had siloed functions. The expansion revenue was 6% of ARR. Once I mapped the life cycle, it was clear that no one owned expansion. So I proposed the CRO structure and got the CEO buy-in. When we assigned expansion ownership to the customer success team and built the upsell process, at the end of 3 months, we had created the CRO role. Actually, the VP of sales was promoted for this role, so the expansion ownership was clear, and the expansion revenue grew from 6% to 14% within 90 days of assigning ownership, and the net revenue retention went from 98% to 112%. This is what a connected system does without having to change the team. Another issue I come across is wasted budget. I have seen businesses spend $30,000 to $50,000 per month on marketing, but 30 to 40% is wasted on channels that don't work or campaigns that don't convert. If that's the case, I first audit all your marketing spend. I break down every dollar. What is it buying? What's the customer acquisition cost? And what's the payback period? And then I pause or kill 2 to 3 channels immediately. Next, I reallocate that budget to channels with lower customer acquisition cost and lower payback period. Once I have all this set up right, I track your blended CAC and payback period. I have seen 25 to 40% improvement in customer acquisition cost within 90 days by cutting waste. The last issue I come across is absence of growth assets. I have seen businesses where 95% of customers come from paid channels. Naturally, nothing adds up and every quarter starts from zero. So when the ads stop, customers stop. This is quite common with businesses that do not have an SEO strategy, an email, a referral program, or a strong brand presence. In this case, I first audit their growth assets. I look at the organic traffic, email subscribers, referral percentage, and brand searches. Now it's not realistic to build all the assets in 90 days. So I choose the one that could give us the best returns. This is usually content or SEO if it's a B2B business, or referrals if it's a strong product. Then we work with the SEO expert to find 15 to 20 high intent keywords and publish 8 to 10 articles. I also build an incentive program and email all the customers. Now it is time to measure early traction. We start tracking rankings, traffics, and conversions. Also for referrals, we track the percentage of customers referring and the percentage of new customers from referrals. Don't expect your business to completely transform in 90 days. That's unrealistic. But by the end of those 90 days, you should feel like things are finally starting to click. You will usually have one big problem actually fixed. Maybe your target audience, reporting, budget allocation, team silos, or growth strategy. You will have a much clearer understanding of what's slowing growth down. You will have a better operating rhythms in place, weekly reviews, a real revenue dashboard, and clearer decision making. And you will have a practical roadmap for the next 6 to 12 months. And finally, some early signs that things are moving in the right direction. better pipeline quality, lower customer acquisition cost, stronger expansion revenue, whatever matters most to your business. The point of the first 90 days is not to solve everything. My goal as a fractional CMO is to create clarity, focus, and momentum. But here are a few things you won't have in the first 90 days. You're probably not going to 10x your revenue overnight. Real growth takes time. Your funnel will not be perfectly optimized yet. You will not suddenly have a full rebrand rolled out across the business. And you probably do not need an entirely new tech stack either. That's not the point of the first 90 days. The goal is to stop guessing, fix the biggest issue or the bottleneck, and build a foundation you can actually scale from. By day 90, the wins should look real. Your pipeline quality might be up 30 to 40%. Your customer acquisition cost starts coming down because you finally cut the waste. And decisions that used to drag on for a month are happening in 1 week or 2 weeks. Your expansion revenue starts moving. And maybe most importantly, you finally identify a channel that's actually working and you can start scaling it confidently. That's what good looks like. The first 90 days are really about diagnosis and focus. You figure out the biggest bottleneck in the business, fix that first, and a lot of other problem becomes way easier to solve. A fractional CMO's job in the first 90 days is not to come in and magically fix everything. As I said earlier, that's not realistic. The job is to figure out what's actually broken, fix the highest leverage problem first, put the right systems in place, and give the business a clear roadmap for the next 6 months to 12 months. Once the foundation is right, scaling becomes really easy. And honestly, most of the time, they are fixing the same 5 problems. The first problem is maybe the business is targeting the wrong customers. The target audience looks good on paper, but it's attracting low-fit buyers. The second problem is they have a broken dashboard. The marketing team is drowning in vanity metrics, but nobody can make real decisions from the data. The third issue is the teams are siloed. Marketing, sales, customer success, all are operating separately, and no one owns a full customer lifecycle. The next issue is wasted budget. Sometimes 30 to 40% of spend is going into channels that were never working in the first place. And finally, there may be no growth assets. Everything depends on paid acquisition, so growth resets every month instead of building over time. If you're not sure which of these you have, I can help. I offer a 90-minute marketing audit where we look at your target audience or ICP. Are you targeting the right customers? Are you tracking vanity metrics or decision-making metrics? Are your teams aligned or operating in silos? Where is the money being wasted? And are you building owned growth or just renting attention every month? By the end of it, you will know exactly what's broken, what's slowing growth down, and what you should fix first. If you want to book one, I will drop the link in the description below. Have a beautiful day.